Yo, Joey Shaw!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Fast Show. Just kidding. This is just going to be the regular show. All right, guys. So, got the new format. Got the charts on one little green box. P&L for the month, top left corner. And patreon.com/shadesandtrades, youtube.com/shadesandtrades. You don't need to know that because you're already watching the channel. As always, we exercise patience, discipline, and we look for big bottoms. Well, guess what's happening here? Guess what's happening? You can see what's happening. I see it. You see it. What's happening with Pony? Let's grab our horizontal line tool. Hopefully, everyone's having a great Sunday. I know I am. I just took like 8 hours of just meditating, staring at the sky, hot, cold bath. I was just giving my eyes a break and my voice a break from talking and staring at screens all day. So I'm doing fantastic. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. So here we go. 1140. That's the big level right here. Let's zoom in on this bottom right here, right? This was the bottom back in June 23, 2025. Let's grab up here a rectangle tool. If you are using Mumu, feel free to follow along. Like, this is how you learn. If you want to be as good as me at reading charts, literally you can just follow along as I'm making the video. So there you go. Let's grab the rectangle tool and let's just put this candle inside a nice little box, right? Man, I guess I still need to give my voice a break, but maybe I just need some water. But here you go. We're putting that candle inside the box. And that was the bottom. Hit a bottom of exactly 10.83. Imagine not buying down here. And you missed out on this huge move to 24. Which was a nice... Let's measure that. Let's measure that. So from that bottom to high, a nice 116% move. Okay, so what's happening, right? What's happening right now? It sold off huge. Oh my God. Let's put this red candle in a box. Right? Looks very similar, right? Looks kind of like a rinse and repeat. We're at a very key level of support. It has to hold here. It has to bounce here. This has to be the bottom, right? If it's going to be the bottom like last time, then we would expect this to do what it did last time, which is it's going to bounce off of this level and go higher. Whether it goes back to 24, 25, that remains to be seen. But at the very least, we know where to buy, right? Because if I were to ask you, would you rather buy at 24, 25, would you rather buy at 17, or down here at 10, 11, right? It makes sense that you would want to buy it cheaper. The people who buy tops, the people who chase at highs, those are the people that get screwed because they don't do this kind of technical analysis at all. They don't even bother. They don't know. They don't know how to read charts. They don't. I do. I've read. If you guys watch my previous video, I've read over 50 to 70,000 charts over the course of 5 years, which is lowballing it. I've probably read over 100,000 charts. So when you read that many charts, of course, you're going to be able to analyze things really quickly and pay attention specifically to what are the opportunities for that specific stock. In this case, Pony AI. So this is a buy. Like it's right there. Now, I know some of you are going to ask me, are you going to buy shades? No, I'm going to be honest with you. No, not because I think it's a bad stock or anything. I don't know anything about it. I'm just looking at the technicals here. And it does have earnings coming up on November 25th. So on Tuesday. And you guys know me. If you've been following the channel, I have a rule. I don't hold through earnings. Or you end up like Trucker Jeff in the Discord. You guys remember Trucker Jeff in the Discord? What happened to Trucker Jeff in the Discord? For those of you newer to the channel, let me see if I can find him. Trucker Jeff. I just typed in trucker. He does work as a trucker, but Trucker Jeff. Yeah, Trucker Jeff. He bought a stock and held it through earnings, hoping to score big. And can you guess what happened? Yeah, I'm sure you can guess what happened, right? Yep, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I'll show it to you right now as proof. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Glad I didn't buy that because I thought I thought about buying BM&R like 3 or 4 months ago when I asked you about it, and you said it was high risk, and you didn't like it much. So you might have you might have saved me on that one. I would be down like 50% or not if I had bought that. Then that's why you're my manager. Keep me out of trouble. And then I told him you broke a rule though, like you broke a rule, and he's like, yeah, that was an idiotic move, holding that damn thing during that disaster earnings. Geez. So he learned a very valuable lesson. You know, he was starry-eyed. He looked at, there's some of you looking at Pony Stock, like he looked at TSSI. He looked at that stock's earnings and thought, man, I'm going to hold it because what if it breaks out on earnings? What if it has good earnings and it pumps 100%? Woo, right? He was so starry-eyed for the big percentage move that he forgot that it can also make a 50% drop, which is exactly what TSSI did. I can even show you that. So I'm just letting you know, this is why I have that rule. It's not worth the risk. Here you go. Here's that huge gap down. He held it thinking, man, if it goes, 50%, woo, right? Woo, I make so much money. Woo. Obviously now he's regretting it and holding a big bag. And now he's hoping, which you never should be doing. You should never be buying a stock and sitting at that point where you're just like, man, I hope it comes back up. That's not a good place to be. So, but yeah, I'm not buying it mainly because I have that rule. If there were no earnings around, this would be such a good risk to reward ratio. But if, everyone's different, everyone's risk appetite is different. So if you're looking to buy this is where it's at. Perfect setup. If this is the low down here, 1048, if that is the low like it was the low back here, then it's, like I said, a very good risk to reward ratio, right? Let me show it to you. Let's say you buy tomorrow let's say you buy at 1150, and if it does come down to 10, if it does stop you out, you lose 8%. Or you might make 114%. Technically speaking, if it does come back to that high. And this thing loves to come back to those highs, by the way. It loves to come back to 20. So even if it just comes back to 20, because it's done this already twice, you can't tell me I'm lying. That's literally what's happened twice. Twice it has come back to 21, to be exact. Which means that's a good thing, because then we know it's kind of reliable, right? Like, wow, twice it's come down to 20. What if it does it again? You're going to be kicking yourself for not buying. I'll buy after earnings, but I'm not going to play it right now. Although this sucks. It sucks when you get like a really good, super duper extra A+, S+ setup, but you have that earnings rule. Like, I just can't. I have that rule for a reason, or else you'll end up like Trucker Jeff. But again, 92% versus losing 8%, that's a win right there. This is where it's at right here. I just measured it for you. I don't know if other channels measure it out for you, but here you go. I'm giving you the game plan. Stop down here at the low. You can see right here, the low is at 1048. So stop at 1047 if you want, maybe lower, depends on how much lower you want to go. And then buy here at 11 to 12 and hold for, here's where you would look to sell. The first big level is going to be right here at 16. The next big level, 21, and then finally 24. So it's up to you how you want to go about it, right? Do you want to scale out? Do you want to sell at a particular level? You can be greedy and maybe hold for 30. It's really up to you. I prefer to scale out though, right? If I'm buying some here, like let's say I buy 1,000 shares here, stop down here. I know I either lose 8% or it goes up to 16, which is going to be what? Let's measure that. That's 40%. Wow, that's actually not bad either. So either you lose 8% or you make 40% if you hold for that next level, which is, again, 16. And you can be greedier, but the problem with being greedier is what if it goes to 16? And I've seen this happen before. I've met people who they'll buy a stock, for example, and they'll hold for 30. Imagine buying Pony it down here at 11 here. You're waiting for 30. You have a price target of 30. If it goes to 30, I'll sell. I will not sell unless it goes to 30. Well, guess what? It only went to 24.92. And guess what? Now that guy held it all the way back down to their average. And you would feel pretty stupid, right? You would feel kind of dumb, like, wait a minute. Yeah, he's right. So that's the problem with being greedy in terms of profit taking. In terms of profit taking, don't be too greedy. Don't be so greedy that you hold it all the way up and you're up like 100% or more. And then because you want that extra $5, you want to sell at exactly 30, you watch it just come all the way down to your average. I've seen that so many times, whether it was color stock, Bed Bath & Beyond, rest in peace that stock, and so many other examples I can give. Hopefully none of you are watching this that were up 100% then held it all the way back down. Hopefully not. But you're not alone if you've done that. This happens all the time because people are greedy. When you're not greedy, you make more, and you're guaranteed to make that 40%. If the market bounces as a whole, look at that. That's a nice little close here that's a 40%, man. I don't know. This is very good. Again, I would wait till after earnings if you want to play it safe and not end up like Trucker Jeff, because he's been like very upset. Like, I did something stupid. I should have followed Shade's rule. No holding to earnings. The allure, the greed, the pot of greed, so to speak, the allure of lots of money, the allure of darkness, right? The allure of I can make a lot fast if it has good earnings. It causes people to do, really dumb things. When you play it safe, better to be safe than sorry. Trading the stock market, it's about protecting your capital. It's not about making money. It's about making money second, but it's about protecting your capital first. That's why I have those rules. Let's go look at the earnings for Pony AI. I don't expect much. I've never looked at Pony AI's earnings. Pony stock. Trading View financials. Anything I look at is free. I don't use, like, you guys don't. I don't have sponsors because I don't care. Because sponsors, they want my audience to pay for something that I don't even use. So you're never gonna see me talking about sponsors. It's just not. I'm too lazy. Number one. Number two. Number two. Everything I use is free. So. Let me pull this up for you guys. Hopefully it looks good. All right, let's zoom in. Let's get the big charts ready. Boom. Magic. All right, 2022, 68 million, 71 million 2023, 75 million 2024. How have their previous quarters looked so far? 14, 35 million. Very interesting that we don't see the previous quarters here. Let me look at the balance sheet real quick. Okay, looks nothing concerning there. Well, its revenues keep going up year over year, so I can't really say anything bad about it. Looks good, actually. I still have not done my due diligence on Pony. Again, I'm mainly a guy that looks at the charts and looks for those juicy bottom setups, right? That's why I got that. That's why I have that big bottoms logo there on the left hand side. Big bottoms. We look for big bottoms because that's where the real money's at. That's where the best risk to reward is at. So let me look up Pony AI website. See if do they have a. I'm looking for the investor section. Yep, that's what we're looking for. So here we go. Investor relations. Let's zoom in. Governance, news and events, financials. Do they not have a investor events? Do they not have a presentation? I'm going to assume they have an FAQ. We've got some press releases here. Yeah, I don't see a press presentation. I don't. Let's see, where's this located? It's from China. Oh, I have a rule called no Chinese stocks. Ooh, no, I do have a no Chinese stocks rule, actually. I don't know if I want to break that rule, but. Okay, so the investor, this investor FAQ is doesn't have much meat in it. Okay, let's see. Pony AI Inc. kicks off fully driverless commercial services for Gen 7 robotaxis. Well, yeah, their revenues are going up, so clearly there's more demand for their product/services. Autonomous trucks, man, we are way behind. I was just telling you guys about Trucker Jeff holding a big bag. Trucker Jeff, his dream is to, not be driving trucks going into 70. Because the government keeps pushing up the retirement age, because obviously they don't want you to retire. The government would prefer it if you worked till you died, right? So he's like, man, the only way I'm going to retire is if I, make a lot of money in the market. So, but he made mistakes, he's Trucker Jeff still. He's not, Trader Jeff. He's Trucker Jeff for now. Maybe one day he will be Trader Jeff by following the rules and not doing anything risky. So yeah, he's going to get replaced as well. And we talked about this. Me and Trucker Jeff talked about this. Like at some point in the US, we're going to have autonomous trucks, and there goes Trucker Jeff's job. So that's kind of another reason why he's like, yeah, I'm probably going to get replaced by AI. He told me that, by the way, he told me that there's like an AI inside the truck that he drives that like keeps an eye on him, like just watches him. Like if he takes his hands off the steering wheel, the AI will like, yell at him. I'm exaggerating, but yeah. If he if he's staring at his phone for too long, the AI will be like, "Hey, pay attention to the road." So we're on our way there. And we're on our way there, but China's ahead right here, right now. Develop the 4th generation autonomous trucks. I mean, this is a good stock. I mean, I'm doing my due diligence right now. Not too deep, because that would be like an hour-long video, but I'm doing my due diligence. I'm reading some articles here, some press releases, looking at the earnings. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about this. And that does make sense. China, the world's largest long-haul trucking market, that makes sense that they have the world. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because they have a ton of people living there. It's accelerating its transition toward intelligent logistics. The company has expanded its fleet to around 200 trucks and secured the first or among the first autonomous truck road test permits and freight transport operation licenses in multiple regions across China. I mean, yeah, this is a buy. Again, I'm not gonna break my rule, or I could end up like Trucker Jeff, right? You never want to be overconfident in the stock market. That's what happened to Trucker Jeff. He was overconfident, but I have to give this a buy for long term. It looks good. But I would wait till after earnings to start buying. But Shades, what if it pumps 1,000%? Oh, well, boo-hoo, I'm still going to follow my rule, right? What if it drops 90% down? Then you end up crying like Sugar Jeff, oh no, I should have listened to you. Yeah, I have seen it before 1,000 times. People never listen and then they blow up. Earnings, let's look at the earnings patterns. I don't know if other YouTubers do this, but let's look at the patterns for earnings. So this E down here on Moomoo means earnings. So let's see what kind of reaction happened. It was just kind of a sell-off and the dip got bought. Okay, the dip got bought up there. Here, it sold off, red candle. That's two earnings, right? 3 earnings where we just get red candles. I want you to take note of that. The past 3 earnings have been nothing but red candles. So that's just something to note. And that's it. We don't have much more to go off of, but that's 3 earnings where they just have red candles. I don't know how you want to interpret that, but I mean, look at this earnings here. That's a red candle. I mean, maybe I'm colorblind, but that's another red candle. We look for historical patterns here and another candle, and this sold off, and then the dip got bought up. So, I mean, if we're gonna go off of historical patterns here, that's 3 different. That's 3 different times where it just had a red candle. It sold off. But the stock overall is fine, right? It always recovers, as you can see, longer term. It's kind of trading in a range right here. Let me look at the higher time frames. But yeah, I would expect a red earnings, right? Why wouldn't we? If 3 earnings in a row, we've had red candles, aka sell-off, why wouldn't we? Maybe this time it's different, and that's cool if it does break the pattern, but we would expect, of course, another red candle for earnings, which will be nothing more than a dip buying opportunity. So this is why I'm saying, like, it's just better not to end up like Trucker Jeff holding a big bag and just let it come down if it does come down. This is one hell of a stock. I'm adding this to my favorites. I'm glad I'm doing my due diligence right now as we look at the technicals and the PRs. Yeah, on the weekly time frame, it's pretty much the same setup. This is a big level right here. Like, this is huge. Like, we have to bounce. next week, we need to have like a green week or something. Because we need to hold up above this. Because if we break down on the weekly, oh boy. Oh boy. Let's look at the monthly time frame. Yeah, buyers, man, if this goes under 10, buyers love it under 10. Quarterly time frame. On the quarterly time frame, you can see we're just going sideways here over the long term. On the yearly time frame, it's just not enough data. Let's look at the 4 hour. I rarely look at the 4 hour, but I just want to see what's going on the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, we touched a low down here. And we're right like there, actually. Like it held up where it needed to. That makes sense, right? It held up where it needed to on Friday. It held up where it needed to. This was an important level for it to hold. That's why I'm saying like this is a good risk to reward ratio. Unfortunately for me, I have a no holding through earnings rule, and I always follow that. Unless it's NVIDIA, then I don't care. But yeah. So there you go. I think after earnings, we'll look at this again, and I'll let you know if it's a buy or not. But I think it's a buy. I think it's a buy. That's a really good setup. It has increasing earnings. I can't say anything bad about it. I'm trying to think. Maybe does it dilute a lot? That's probably the only concern you would have to have. I would hope it doesn't dilute a lot. I'm looking at the PRs here on the left-hand side. I don't see any announcements here for dilution, so I can't really say. Kathy Wood is in this. I did not know that. She's in this. I don't blame her. That it makes sense. She probably knows better than I do because I just started doing my due diligence. Let's look at the ratings. What ratings do analysts give it? I don't know what $101 Hong Kong. What does that mean? What does that mean? Why did they have to put it in Hong Kong dollars? I don't know what that means. Okay, so we have price targets of $29, no, 24.5, 32, 29, 20, 20, 18. Wow. So this is technically undervalued according to analysts, especially because we tanked. So this just tanked because it followed the market all the way down. This is not tanking because of anything wrong with the company, right? That's my question. Yeah, a lot of price targets at like 29 plus. Announcements. Yeah, it's a China stock. I have a rule: no Chinese stocks and no holding through earnings. I might break the no Chinese stock rule. That one I can break. But if I do break it, then I have to go in with a fourth of the position. So instead of 1,000 shares, I would only buy 250. Just because I would not break that rule. I would have to go in with much less to be safe. Because you never know. I mean, it's China versus USA, right? It's China versus USA. That's never going to change. So you never know when something can happen. But yeah, I know if Trucker Jeff is watching this, he's probably like, damn, that's an interesting one. Like he's probably like, man, I am totally getting replaced. Yes, you are. It's going to happen. I think it's a good long-term hold. It's just starting out. So again, we don't have enough data on the yearly, which makes sense. You know, this is not MSTR. Like if you were telling me, if you were to ask me, would you rather buy MSTR or Pony? I would just buy Pony. MSTR just kind of looks, you know, look at this. This looks like exactly what you would expect. It looks like trash. And it's not an AI stock anyways. It's the AI revolution, guys, not the crypto revolution. Right? You don't hear NVIDIA's CEO saying, hey guys, crypto revolution. No. He doesn't give a damn about that. He's been telling you over and over again. It's the AI revolution. Anything AI is going to go up over the long term. I believe this will go back to 20. Guaranteed. I know that sounds, well, I shouldn't say guaranteed. I take the bet. Not guaranteed, but I think it's going to go back to 20. Like 90% chance. Because if it does what it's been doing, which is it has, you know, a red earnings, it drops a little bit, then pumps back to 20 plus like it has been doing already. I don't see how it doesn't happen again. It's a pattern. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to take advantage of these patterns. So, if you want to play it safe, wait till after earnings. I already gave you the buy, the sell, and the stop loss. Really, it's going to hinge on whether the markets as a whole go up. Because right now, everything's dropping together. So again, it's going to really, really be dictated by, are we going to continue down? Is everything going to continue crashing? Or are we finally going to bounce here? Bitcoin is making a big move right now on a Sunday, right? It's recovering here. Let's see if it holds, because we've seen this happen where it has a green day and then it just continues lower. Green day continues lower. Green day continues lower. Consolidation continues lower. Consolidation, like it just kind of has been doing this. And if crypto continues to tank, then we would expect everything to continue to tank, because that's just how it is, right? Everything just comes down together. Don't ask me how or why, it just does. I assume it's because of the bots, right? The manipulation, whatever you want to call it. The algorithm's just sending it lower. So it's going to be very important this week. This is why I'm saying this coming week is going to be very important for a lot of stocks. Pony AI, hypothetically, if it does break down, let's say the market just continues lower. If it does break down below this support here, the next big level is going to be 850. And then God forbid that we drop to 4. But I mean, if you have a stop loss, then you lose 8%, whatever, 8%. And then you reposition and buy down here with a stop loss. I mean, don't make the mistake of holding the bag down. It's always better to take the small loss, that 8% loss, because hey, once this actually starts reversing, you're going to make that 30 to 50 to 100%. I showed you that. I measured everything out for you, right? Let me just show you an example before I go, right? Just before I go, let me show you an example of what I mean, why it's important not to hold the bag. So this was a bottom, right? You can see we always bounced off of it. And then let's say you weren't stupid enough to buy the top here. You were smart. You were like, hell no, I ain't buying no top. I'll wait for it to come down to support like it always has 1, 2, 3 times. So it comes down here, you buy, and you set a stop at the low, you get stopped out, and you're like, okay, I got stopped out. That's probably a sign of weakness, right? So you would have bought here on this candle because that's where it touched that support. You just buy it. You're a machine. You don't care. You're going to buy because that's where it makes sense based on the technicals. You set a stop at the low right here. You get stopped out here on this candle. You get stopped out. So you get stopped out here. The stupidest thing you can do is not stop out. Remove your stop loss because you're like, oh, no, I don't want to get stopped out. And then what would have happened, right? You would have held it all the way down to $4. Whereas if you take that small loss, which would have been very small, let me measure it for you. This is the good thing about technical analysis, because you can be precise is the word I'm looking for. So let's say you bought up here, stop loss down here, you either lose 11% or you make a lot of money on the way back up, right? Well, you would have taken the 11% loss and you would have been thankful because you're like, damn, I didn't have to hold it all the way down, 70% down. So, and then you would have repositioned wherever it bottomed out. In this case, it didn't have a previous level, so you would have had to switch over to. So in that case, you would have gotten stopped out, and then you would have just watched it keep going lower, and you'd be smiling because you're like, thank God I didn't hold that bag, because goddamn, it just keeps going down. And then you would have bought back in right around here. You would have had to switch over to the MACD strategy. So the MACD strategy, white line crossing the yellow line, means we're going to turn bullish. And that's exactly what happened, right? You see it right here. The white line crossed the yellow line. Let me see if I can. Yeah, like right here. So on this, So on this candle right here, that's where you got confirmation, right? You see the white line crossing the yellow line here? That would have been your confirmation, plus the green candle would have been your confirmation that it's time to go long. And you would have set a stop at the low, bought up here, set a stop at the low again, just in case it's not the bottom, right? And then you would have made hella money on the recovery, right? Look at this. Even if you held it just back to where you got stopped out, you would have made 128%. Now, I obviously, it's easy for me to say this. It's easy for me to say all this because I know my strategies. I know what I'm looking at. It's easy for me to do this because I know how to read charts. I just learned recently that a lot of people don't know how to read charts. So that's why they go to people like me because they want to know, like, hey, what's the best thing to do right now? Well, right now, the best thing to do is wait because everything's just crashing, and just buy the good ones, right? We've been buying SoundHound, we've been buying IonQ, quantum stocks. You buy them when they're cheap, not when they're up there at like $80. So we've been buying them when they're half off. So yeah, we're buying BBAI. We're buying a bunch of stocks. This one was not on my radar until today, when someone let me know, like, hey, can you take a look at Pony AI? And I'm like, oh, sure, I'll look at it. And it's an AI stock. So I'm like, hey, let me do some research. So I just gave you all the strategies. I always give my strategies away for free because most people are too lazy to use them. They actually have to open up charts. They actually have to read the charts. They have to actually put in effort. So that's why I give my strategies away, because people aren't going to actually put in the work. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully this is helpful. My game plan, wait till after earnings and then buy in, assuming it holds above that level up here, assuming it holds above this. Oops. So assuming it holds 1150. If it doesn't hold this and we break down and we continue crashing, I'll look to reposition at 8. I'll look to buy at 850. And then if it doesn't hold there, then 4. You know, it's better to take those small losses, because on the recovery, like I just showed you, you can make it all back and then some. But you know how some people are most people, they're just going to hold the bag down negative 72%, then wait for it to come back up for them, and then they make like $5, or get out at break even. That's why it's always smarter to reposition. And keep in mind right here, we have not gotten that MACD crossover. That white line crossing the yellow line. The yellow line has not happened. So let's see if it happens. If it happens this week, that's a good sign that we may have bottomed out as well. So look for that as well, because that has not happened here. So that's something to look forward to. Oops, there you go. So look for that crossover, because we have not had one since October 29. So what, 30, yeah, almost a month we haven't had one. Here it dropped and did not cross over till here. So, oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. I thought I was looking at this one right here. Oops. There we go. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that reversal sign. And again, when that crossover happens, right, you get a nice green candle. You don't just buy it and then like not set a stop. You buy at the top of the candle. That's what we always assume. We always assume you buy the top of the candle. Stop loss at the low. If it moves up in your favor, guess what? You're in the green. You're happy. You didn't buy and hold the big bag up here all the way down. And then you're just not, you're not getting good sleep, because you're just constantly checking on the markets and the overnight and pre-market. And you're just constantly looking at it, hoping, oh, please recover, because I'm down 70% because I held the bag, because I don't take small losses, and reposition. So yeah, there you go. A lot of lessons to be learned in this video, especially if you're new to the stock market. A lot of people joined the Discord recently, patreon.com/shades and trades. It is a paid Discord. I do give the alerts, setups, and everything. I actually do talk to people, go back and forth and chat. I'm not one of those Discord owners that just, good luck. Like, I give you all the tools. It's up to you to really figure it out. But if you don't want to think and just want the alerts and the analysis for your favorite stocks, that's fine too. Patreon.com/shades and trades. Let's go back to the normal screen. This has been one hell of a due diligence video and technical analysis video. I think this is a buy. Sell target of 20. Buy, sell target of 20. Stop loss at the low, 1050. If it breaks down, reposition at 850. If it breaks down, reposition at 4. If for some reason it goes to 0, then at least you only took small little losses, 3 small little losses, and you still have your capital to go play something else. That's better than holding the bag all the way down to 0, which unfortunately a lot of people did on Bed Bath & Beyond, if anyone's been around long enough. What happened to Bed Bath & Beyond? Let me show you. Oh, let me see, BBBY. Oh, it still exists? Nah, that's not real. This stock should be dead. It still exists, guys? What? Nah, this is a lie. This is a lie. I remember when we traded it here to 39 and then it, crashed. I can't believe this is still around. Didn't they close like a ton of stores? Anyways, it's either way, still dead in the water. Look at that. It just keeps going down. Look at that monthly time frame. Ooh, it just keeps going down, right? Like, who wants to buy that? At least Pony holds up. At least Pony, is going sideways. That's better than going down constantly. So it looks good, not only on the technicals, but also based on the little due diligence we did, it looks fine. I give this a long-term hold rating for sure. I don't know if it's going to go to 100, but 20 for sure. Take the 100%, 80%, and rinse and repeat at this point. Just abuse the patterns that I've shown you. Like I said, seriously, if you just follow me T for T in the Discord, you're going to be fine. But too many people, they break the rules that I give them because they want to make more, get rich quick, etc. Screw all that. All right, guys, that's it for Pony AI, an extensive due diligence on a new AI stock that came up. People have been talking to me about it, but I was like, you know what? It's a Sunday. I'm not gonna make any videos today, so let's do some due diligence and let's look into this one. I already like this one more than NUAI.